Hello, everybody. Welcome to Kubernetes Cluster API Azure, our weekly office hours meeting. It is April 17th today. Um, CapZ is a subproject of SIG Cluster Lifecycle, and as you're probably aware, that means we follow the Kubernetes community rules of conduct, which we can summarize as everybody try to be polite and welcoming to each other, try to use the raise hand feature so we don't talk over each other, etc. We don't usually have any problems in this area, but just so we know. If you want to add your name to the attendees list here, please feel free to do so. Not required. And at the beginning, we take time to welcome new attendees, but I don't think there are anyone new. But if you want to interrupt me, please feel free to do so. And we don't actually have anything yet on the open discussion list, but if you think of something, go ahead and add it. Otherwise, I guess we should take a trip through the milestone and PR review. So I guess we'll jump into that. And feel free to drop off if this isn't particularly germane to what you're doing. So on the V120 milestone, we currently have a lot of machine pool things, and some of these are not yet assigned, it looks like. Although, well, this should be because James opened it. So anyway, I'm not sure what we want to do here. Do we have any progress to report? I would probably show up. I'm just looking at this and seeing that there's no way we're going to get all this done. This is my first reaction.
Um, that's fair. That's fair. Uh, I had an update on one of the issues over there, 5515.
Okay,
Um, uh, Neck
this one.
provisional failed state, but still operational. I think I did make some progress yesterday on it, but I couldn't raise a PR to show that. Uh, but just wanted to share that I made some progress on this. Uh, I am not able to replicate the behavior because Azure doesn't let me away on um, marking a resource as provisioning failed. So I'm unit testing it. Uh, and I probably need some help on mocking the behavior out.
Hmm.
So I think it's easier if I show up via PR. So sorry about that. I should have done that before.
No, that's cool. It's great you're making progress. I guess we already have it marked as in progress, so that's roughly accurate. Um, hey, Willie, we didn't have anything actually on the agenda, so we're just going through uh, bug triage and the milestone. And
Sounds good.
yeah, and just wondering if anybody has anything to report here. I have not had a chance to look at this first one that I was assigned. I mean, I marked it as okay to test and stuff, but I have not really looked at it yet. Um, but if nobody has anything to volunteer here, um,
Oh, one thing
yeah.
about the 5372 Mac, the VM provisioning error with this. Do you think we need to replicate the images in those regions? Is that what is happening over there?
Oh, it could be. I haven't looked at it. Where's the region? Do they have it in the model? No.
Oh, sorry. I think it's one of the Capsy Linux bootstrapping. I can quickly comment on that we have increased the verbosity of Kubedium join, and if they see anything,
Okay. Oh, so you don't think it's a
no, I think
region? Yeah.
mm,
Yeah, because that would probably fail. That would fail in a more obvious way or earlier, I would hope. But that is a problem. We're not replicating to all regions like we used to do when we published to the marketplace. So sometimes people are surprised that they're not available. Um, and we can certainly increase the default replication set, but we ought to have a good like business driver for it, like some internal customer or external customer really needs it in a certain region because it costs us money. Not a lot, but it costs us some money to host it in a different region. Um, um, and my comment here was this looks like a lot of work, so hopefully we can actually get through most of this. But if nobody has anything specific to add to this list, then I guess we can go on to bug triage. Oh, I guess we've already looked at everything technically since we marked some of these things priority important soon. We didn't mark these guys here.
Although we did add them to the milestone.
Yeah,
Um,
so that's
just
fine. We've just been using the priority thing as a marker that we visited the bug. Go ahead,
Mhm.
Noah.
Just to backtrack a little bit, sorry about
Mhm.
that. Do you think we should readjust uh, the promises we are making with the milestone and probably remove the issues which we are not going to not going to have time to uh, achieve?
Uh,
It's May 25th.
May
We still
25th,
have.
so we have about 5 weeks,
Uh-huh.
or maybe a little over more than 5 weeks. I don't know. We can certainly get a lot of work done and surprise ourselves. And it's not the end of the world if like half the things on this list just get kicked over to the next milestone. That's generally what happens anyway. Um,
Hmm.
but just naively looking at this list, I think you guys probably agree with me. There's no way we're going to get through all this. So I don't
That's
know.
yeah,
But if there's anything here that you take another look at it today and you're like, yeah, I'm probably not going to get to that. Maybe we should drop it off the milestone. But otherwise, it's not the end of the world either way. We just want a roughly accurate picture of the work we hope to do by May 25th.
fair enough.
So if this still qualifies, then at least that's my take. I don't know. What do you think, Morgan, and other people? I mean, we could also try to use this list as we promise to get all this work done, and it could be more serious, but that hasn't been how we've treated it.
Yeah, I think that we need to do a mixture of the things that are kind of being like spoken about. I do think some things need to be knocked off the list, but we should have more of a strategy of things that we want to get done for the next milestone that all toward like aim towards a goal and not just a what can we all get done and hope for the best type of thing.
Yeah. The overall theme here, if there is one, is we want to fix machine pool stuff because there's a lot of machine pool specific bugs. So I like having a theme.
Yeah, I think we can start there for now and then as well, first, before I continue, obviously I know a lot of you guys here. Brian, I'm familiar with you, but I've never really actually introduced myself. I'm Morgan. I'm the PM for CAPC. I just do it more so behind the scenes. Um, but hello, that's where my input is coming in. Um, I like the idea of the theme, yes, about machine pools for now, and then moving forward, I do want to come up with more of a like set strategy for what CAPC is doing. Obviously, I don't think that's going to happen in this one meeting, but for today, I do think we should prioritize the machine pool things and then go from there.
Um, so maybe give them a higher priority than just this default one we've been giving
Yeah,
stuff
so
or
now we have a better idea of what the things are being used as and not just using the labels as a to-do list.
sure. Yeah, so if we really want to make machine pools sort of top of the list,
No,
are there
Oz.
more? Yeah. Oh, go ahead, Noah. Sorry.
Oh, I was debating about the thought which I was about to say that do we want to assign priority to the ones which are already picked up by people? Uh,
Are you saying in general or about machine pools?
uh, in general, but I think machine pool definitely seems to be the theme, so we can definitely have labels assigned to the machine pool stuff. But in
Yes.
general, I was just thinking, let's also assign a label to the stuff which have been picked up but do not have a label to it, just because we are actively working on it. So
Right.
it is
Yeah.
bound to be in the release. Yeah.
So that would be like this one here that you're working on. And well, James is working on this, but I don't want to, I'm not sure what his priorities are, so we probably can't make that high priority for him. Are there any others that fall into that bucket, Noah's? Um,
Do you think we'd be able to get to the Azure Go Auto Rest of 2974?
um, I kind of gave up and Brian took over and he's got a PR out there, but I don't know how much additional work it needs. What do you think, Brian?
I kind of got distracted too with the one issue from a self-managed perspective. So like I haven't touched it either. And I know Patrick last week at the meeting was talking about bringing in that one PR for Azure Stack that
That's right.
uses auto rest. So I wasn't sure what was going on with that either.
So it kind of seems like maybe it's not worth a higher priority unless we suddenly consider getting rid of Go Auto Rest to be a higher priority, but clearly we haven't for the last year or so. Um, so maybe let's just leave that where it is.
Yeah. I think we should leave it as nice to have if we get to it for right now, but
Right.
not try to force it.
Are there any other ones here that we're actively working on that we can mark as a higher priority since we're like
I know, I know the one 5431, the one which Alima is working on.
this one, the
Yeah,
cluster flow? Okay. And it also doesn't have a priority, so we can.
yeah.
And then what about VM provisioning error? This is popping up all over the place, but I'm not sure if we're clearly you guys have been working on it.
Um, Unless Willie has something to say. I think the VM provisioning error and the one which was we saw the first thing on our CabZ queue, both of them are pointing at the CabZ Linux bootstrapping error. But as we all know, it's not really the extension error which is failing. It's the kubeadm which fails, and the bootstrap tells us that hey, it's the bootstrap VM extension tells us that hey, the kubeadm join or init has failed. So we definitely need to take a deeper look into why kubeadm is been failing for a lot of at least two of the people we know. But I don't really know how else to proceed on that. Maybe Willie has some thought on it.
Yeah, Will.
Yeah, I, I had an issue there with can you scroll up a little bit? Or actually no, 5482 replace CabZ bootstrapping extension. So that I talked to Jack about this and we decided to not replace it with the custom script extension, but just make it have a better like um error message because right now it just says exits with error one and people think it's like a CABZ error. And I think he had a more ambitious goal of having the extension like automatically tell like export logs from the kubeadm join or init like or cloud init logs. But I think first I think I already had a branch out that just makes the error message more verbose and points to the documentation on how to debug it. So I think I can just do that first or put out a PR for that first and then worry about exporting logs for the user like later because that might be a harder task.
So this isn't, as described, this isn't exactly the strategy we want to pursue. And you have a PR out that will kind of hopefully stop the bleeding. So,
Yeah, I'm gonna rename this issue. I forgot to rename it.
okay. So go ahead, Noah.
Also, the fact that there are three people who have thumbs up, this issue description tells me that there are people looking out for it. People would really appreciate some direction on this. So I think it'd be worth if we can have more guidance on what to do with the Capzi Linux bootstrapping failure. I'll put in a comment that we have increased the default verbosity for kubeadium logs in this issue, just because there are people watching this issue, and then we can get started with what Willie has added uh, with more verbose error message.
Yeah, so I think the reason why we don't want to replace it is because if we replace it with the custom script extension, then a user can't specify their own custom script extension because of Azure VM limitations where you can't have two of the same extension. So yeah, I think it's still fine. Right now we have a field that called disable extension operations, but it disables every extension. So I think just having a new field that just disables specifically the custom script or bootstrapping extension will be fine because it seems like our that one customer that like had issues with this just disabled it on their fork or something. So I think we should just add a field for it.
Mhm. So we can retitle this issue and keep it open. So it describes what we're actually planning to do. And then,
Yeah, I just retitled it.
okay. And then it's still at least priority important soon. I don't know if we want to change the priority, but
It is. I'll like just do it today because it's basically done.
okay. Cool. So then in terms of tweaking the priority here, I think these are the ones we might want to bump up then to the next priority level. Is that people do? Does everyone agree?
Can you check the Cabzy bootstrapping extension one?
This one?
Yeah.
We
Or
were
just
just,
select it.
yeah, gotcha. All right, and then so we only have critical urgent and more than important soon. Why not? Let's use it. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's not literally true. I guess these aren't critical, but if we want to make them seem higher priority than the other high priority stuff, I guess we can do this.
I agree.
Okay. Bulk update in progress. Okay. This is on the list, but we didn't assign it a priority. Uh,
5 thumbs up.
yeah.
I think this was fixed. Someone fixed it.
John is suggesting here's the fix.
If it's expected, then shouldn't we just close the issue?
Yeah, perhaps. Add FAQ for apparent ASO. Okay, so we added something in FAQ. So maybe this was the fix, was to document why this behaves this way. I missed all this. New
Yeah.
version. Yeah. Okay. So sorry. Oops. Where are we? There we are. Fixes the issue. Capsy does not complain. It does sound like John's suggestion was, all right, I think we could close this. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yep.
was about to comment in the issue over there that there are two people. One person says that it has fixed their issue, and also John has commented that the FAQ has been added. Do we still need to keep this issue open?
I guess we can ping some of the people on the who complained and make sure that they're
Yeah.
And check in and see if they're working, or at least, okay, one person spoke up and said,
Mhm.
and the original poster sounds like this fixed it for him, them. Although they still got kind of an open question here, or curious about something. I'm not sure how to answer that. But let me just ask them if, oops, ask the robot.
I I think I have an idea of what's happening here. I think what the user is asking is, even though we have pulled in the latest API version for the kind managed cluster, when I apply, after I apply the YAML, I still see the old version in the spec which has been created, the one which I fetched from etcd. And they're asking, why is that happening? Why does this V1 API 2021-051 doesn't get upgraded to the latest API version? And I think John had an explanation for that in one of the comments in the 5168, that Kubernetes doesn't necessarily need to honor the latest API version because it's not a Kubernetes related resource.
Okay, but isn't the
So
API for, okay, I guess the API version is an Azure API version for AKS.
for our custom resource,
Okay.
since it's a related resource, it's still going to say, it's like uh, containerservice.azure.com/v1 beta 1, even if the internal orderings has been changing. So I think that was the understanding which I got. If we
Ah,
click over the
okay.
comment 5168 over there, which John has put in, that's what it's suggesting.
I think that's, I'll just ask him if they're satisfied if we could close this issue. If the doc fix is enough. Does that work?
That sounds great. Thank you.
Anything else we want to hit here or over in the new issues list? We have looked at all these before. Yeah, Noah, sorry, go ahead.
Uh, I was about to ask about the CAPI V 1.10 upgrade. I think that'll eventually land onto us. Do you think we should add that as well in the milestone?
It's a good question because I spazzed out and opened a PR for this, not realizing that a community member had already put in a lot of work. So effectively, I'm gonna close my PR. I'm leaving it open as a reference. But since we're depending on a community member working with them to get this done, I don't know that we should really attach it to a milestone. Because we can't really control that situation. So maybe, I guess maybe leave it off the milestone. We don't want it to dangle very long after the release next Tuesday. We want to have the problems figured out.
Sure.
I don't know. It's kind of a tough call.
Just wondering, so if can we upgrade CAPI in a patch version? We don't do that, right?
Generally, we don't.
So
Because the only reason is that it usually brings along a bunch of other changes with it, including usually the Go version, just based on timing. and other significant things like controller runtime, which touches like everything. So, but if there were a minor release that didn't do those things, I don't know that it would matter. We could probably merge it whenever.
So if we don't get this in this minor release of CapZ, then we'd have to wait out another month to get the new Cappy in CapZ, right?
Perhaps. Yeah.
Tricky.
Yeah. I was I was thinking about that and wondering if it was really business critical or something, and I can't really argue that it is. Um,
Right.
so I think it's okay to just work with the community member to see if they can get it done.
Okay.
But if you disagree with me, we can refocus on this and try and get it done in the next few days.
Um, no, I think I agree with what you said. I think community involvement is it's really good to have that. So I'll pair with the community member. I think he did ask for a question on how to proceed with the tests, and since we have your PR as a reference, that should help us.
Yeah, although it's not passing everything, I'll try and check in too. I meant to yesterday. I was just busy,
Oh, no
but
worries.
I'll try and help them along as well.
Cool.
Um,
Maybe we can revisit this issue by next Thursday when we meet again. Hopefully, we'd have made more progress. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, and then the Cappy and the final release will come out next Tuesday. So then we have no excuses. All right.
To
Yeah, go ahead.
ask about another thing. What is going on with 4633? I think cluster CTL in it doesn't work.
4633.
It has the like priority label, but also has a lifestyle rotten. But I'm not quite sure what's going on. Willie, do you have like insight to this issue? You opened it, that's why I asked.
Oh
But
yeah, yeah, yeah. I think this is like the period of time when we're kicking off a release
Oh yeah.
and we merge the metadata.yaml, but then we haven't published the release yet. In that time window, cluster CTL and it doesn't work because it can't find the new release yet. So I don't know if this is actually like possible to fix, but I just noticed this one time when I was like kicking off a release, and it just feels wrong to have like Cabsy not work for like even like an hour. That just seems like an outage, right? So I don't know. That's why I opened this because I was kicking off a release one time and this happened.
I mean, no, that seems valid to me.
But yeah,
What's
I
the
don't know
like?
like how to fix that because there's cluster CTL and it just takes the metadata or reads the metadata on YAML. So like, and we need to merge that to kick off the release.
Yeah. I guess you could imagine we could change cluster cuddle init to check that there's a corresponding release in GitHub first. But wow, that sounds fiddly.
For that hour, it can't just rely on like the previous release until the other one's published.
Yeah, so maybe this is like a CAPZ or CAPI improvement. I don't know. Because it's gonna have to I would assume every provider would have to use this metadata.yaml and then it breaks, right?
Yeah.
Like am I is the other providers do it like this too?
Yes, I think so. Yeah. I'm not sure how you do it otherwise. So probably everybody has this little window where the project is essentially broken for a bit. It was?
Uh, Also, I haven't seen anyone complain that the cluster CTL init isn't working for them on our Slack so far. So that tells me that this might not be a super intrusive or disrupting bug.
Yeah, that's why I haven't really looked into it. Good, just because I noticed it in that window, so yeah. Um
Okay, cool. I'm not mad at it. I just wanted to make sure that it wasn't something that was pressing. If that is the case, though, I do think it's something we should keep an eye on. Like you said, Nuance, no one's brought it up right now, but just something to be aware of. If we can take the label off for now and just have it as like a priority backlog thing, just so we actually have an idea of what's important. Well, important. I don't want to say it's not important, but you get it. We're all here.
Yeah,
Go ahead, Nuance.
lots of
Also,
important stuff.
does label lifecycle frozen stop the bot from making it rotten all the time?
That's a great question. I have no idea.
Yeah, I think that's the idea.
I see. If that's the case, then let's freeze its life cycle for now.
Okay.
Thank you.
Dope, dope, dope. Okay. Let's see what else we got on here. We just put those here. Okay, cool. So I think for the next milestone, we have a good like 10 to 13 issues that we've made like a higher priority. Does that sound about right to everybody?
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool. And then next week, I'm hoping next time when we reconvene for office hours, I'll be able to run by like my strategy ideas by you guys, and then we can discuss them and move forward from there.
Sounds good. Hopefully we can fix some things too. Was?
Amazing.
Yep. I agree. I was thumbs upping. Yes.
Oh, sorry. Like, um, cool. Do we have any others to review? I kind of got lost with I think we've hit everything. Anything else anybody wants to talk about? CAPC or otherwise? Sounds like a no. All right.
Not all good on my front.
Good deal. We will catch everybody next week.
Go team
Yep.
go.
Thank you,
Nice to
man.
Have a
meet
rest of the
Thanks.
day.
you, Brian.
Thank you.
See ya.